Coming up next on the Journey with James podcast. You can't sit like a bump on a log. God will be there for you, but you have to make moves too. You have to go out there and challenge yourself. You have to go out there and enjoy your life because life is worth the living. Inspiration, motivation, encouragement. The Journey with James podcast starts right now. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of The Journey with James. I am James, of course, and I am so glad that you join me for another edition of The Journey with James podcast. This is season 2, episode 2, and I am glad, as I said before, that you join me on today. And I may have said this in the first podcast, and I'll say this again. I am in the phase of transformation. This is a transformation season in my life. The last few years has been such a transformation, and I just thank God for where I am today. I thank God for the growth, and I think for so many of us, we don't take the time to really think about how far we've come. So many times we still think about, okay, we're still going through different things. We still got this going on. We still got that going on. But we don't look back and say, but I was here and it was worse, but now I'm here. So I just say that to say, please be grateful for where you are in your life and understand that if you're going through what I'm going through, a transformational stage in your life, then understand that it's going to be some good days, some highs, and there's going to be some bad days, some lows. But you have to stay with it. And with my walk, my Christian walk, I trust in the Lord with my life. I know that He is going to lead and He is going to guide me in every way possible. So with all that said, it's my faith that keeps me despite all the things that may go on around me. So yeah, it hasn't been the best of days all the time, but it has been better days. And it's just something so phenomenal when you allow God to really take over and to really mold and guide where you're going in life and to take care of the things that bring you such pain at times, Some of my closest friends know the pain that I go through, know the hurts and know what I've been through. And they also know the bad things I've done in my life as well, the things I'm not proud of, the things that I've asked God to forgive me for. And they've seen that I've allowed God to fully forgive me. I didn't allow God. I shouldn't say that because He does forgive us. And that's what we have to understand. I didn't allow God to do that. God forgave me the moment that I repented and asked Him for forgiveness. And so I thank Him for that forgiveness. But my friends and close family, they've seen me finally embrace the love that God had given me and the forgiveness that He would give me. And they have seen me not condemn myself anymore from the bad things that I've done in my life. So I just want you guys to understand, because you have done things that were wrong in your past, it does not mean that you cannot move forward in your present and your future. It does not mean that you cannot start anew. It does not mean that your life is over. No matter what, people will come at you. They will persecute you. They will talk about you. They will look at you sideways, have something to say about you, but they don't know the new you. They don't know the change you. They know an old version of you. And so with that, you have to accept that they just know the old version of you and they won't get to know the new you because you've moved on and you are doing what you got to do to improve your life and be a better person, a better version of yourself. And I've always talked about this AOL thing because when I was a young boy, we used to get these little discs in the mail where we can update our You've got mail. I guess it was internet. When it was dial-up, you would get these different versions that you can upgrade to, and it would get better and better. And so I always talk about that. In our lives, we're getting better and better. We're becoming better versions of ourselves. Just like that AOL, we are becoming better versions. And so I said, this is James 100.5. We're going to always continually grow. We're going to not be perfect. And I think we have to really grasp that fact that we are not perfect. We strive for perfection. We strive for excellence in our life. But we have to understand that with all of that, we will fail. We will fall short. We will have things that we still need to work on because we are not perfect. And I think the minute that we understand that we're not perfect is the minute that we can allow God to work His perfection in us and to let Him work this thing out and get the glory for our lives. And so I understand that I'm not perfect, and I understand that I'll have bumps and bruises in this road called life, in this journey called life, in this journey with James. In your journey, you're going to have that. But you have to understand it fully and understand that when we give it all to God, he is going to work that thing out for us. I surely believe that. I surely know it. I surely can give you 100% accuracy in that because I've seen him do it in my life. And so we have to understand that, fully embrace that, and have that faith as small as a mustard seed. If you have that little bit of faith, to trust in him, because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. We don't always see it physically in front of us at that time, but if we just imagine, we just trust, and we just know that God is going to do what he said he's going to do, he will do it. It's going to work out. But a lot of times we give up so quick because it doesn't happen in the time that we think it should happen. But how many understand that we serve a God that always is on time? He's always on time in his own perfect time. And when we really check it out and really look at it and evaluate it later on, we understand that, okay, Lord, if it would have happened at the time I thought it would happen, it may not have been at the success rate that it is now. But when you allow him to do it and he brings it in his time, you can guarantee it's going to work out. Everything's going to fall into place. And we have to understand that. And so one of the biggest things that I've learned this season is in my transformation is to challenge myself more, to love myself even more, to embrace my emotions, embrace my feelings, because I used to feel really bad because I'm more an emotional person. I'm more in touch with my feelings. I should say I'm more sensitive or whatever. I ain't a pushover now. Let's get that straight. But with all that said, my loving kindness, people could try to take that for granted. But now that I understand how I am, I'm more cognizant and ask God to give me discernment to know when someone is trying to get over me or trying to take advantage of me. And so a lot of times people think they got over me, but they really don't. God's working things out even when they don't even realize it. So with all that said, I embraced who I am. And so you have to embrace who you are. Yes, I am more in touch with my feelings. And it's just what it is. And it makes me unique. It makes me special. And maybe it's you too. Whatever it is, embrace who you are, your uniqueness and your specialness that God has created you, because God makes no junk. He makes no junk whatsoever. And so in this season of transformation, I understand and love myself more and embrace more and more who I am and loving me and understanding that everybody's not going to love this version of James. They're not. And I'm okay with that because I cannot please, and you cannot please everybody, but you cannot make yourself miserable trying to please everybody. And so you have to understand that in this journey of life and this transformation, because you could be going through a transformation stage just like I am. So understand that through the transformation that some people may fall off, and it's okay. It may hurt, but it's okay because you want people to love you for who you are. You want people to empower you to be positive in your life. We don't need all the negativity. And so embracing that, I've learned to challenge myself more. And so there's been a season of, I can't believe I did it. I actually did it and it was successful and it worked out, from my new position, doing more writing and different things like that, and more creativity and producing and different things like that. It's such a blessing to challenging myself. I went kayaking. A friend convinced me to go kayaking, and it was such a joy to do. I was a little scared now. Let's not get it twisted because I don't do stuff like that. And the water and all that stuff, I love the water, but I don't want to be out there in that water like that in the middle of nowhere. But I challenged myself and I did what I had to do. I had some bumps and bruises, not bruises, but I had a little bit bumps here and there, trying to figure out how to do this thing the right way, how to navigate the board. After I did it, I felt such a sense of accomplishment because I pushed myself yet again. You have to push yourself to limits you thought you couldn't even do. And God is going to show his hand in every way. You just got to understand that. And so in this podcast, I just want you to understand that if you're in a transformation stage in your life and that you've had some things, some big bumps in the road, some big dealings, some big things going on in your life, whether it be a life change with a divorce, whether it be someone that you were so close to died and it seemed like a big part of your life has been taken away. Understand that all of this too shall pass and that there'll be brighter days ahead and that there'll be chance for you to live life again. Don't give up. Don't give in. Hold on tight. It's not going to be always easy. It's not going to always be what they say, peaches and cream. Sometimes it's going to be lemons. It's going to be sour. But you have to make a conscious effort to say, I'm going to stick by this. I am going to truly continue to trust in God. I am going to continue to do what I got to do in order to make my life better. You can't sit like a bump on a log. God will be there for you, but you have to make moves too. You have to go out there and challenge yourself. You have to go out there and enjoy your life, because life is worth the living. We cannot continue to allow ourselves to be stagnant. We can allow ourselves to be depressed. We can allow ourselves to always overthink, because we always do. We do that sometimes. I know I can overthink, and it can just drive you crazy. But understand that in your process of transformation, you will have those bad days when you do overthink. You have those bad days when you do feel less than, you feel like you're not enough, you feel like you just want to give up. But you have to start remind yourself who you are and whose you are in Christ. And you have to also reach out to those people who are close to you. And sometimes they have to build you up. And it's okay to remind you who you are, because we all need each other in this journey of life. And that's the whole premise and the purpose of the Journey with James podcast. It's not all about me. It's about me expressing my journey to you in hopes that it helps you and it can help somebody else, and you can help somebody else with your journey, and then somebody else's journey can help somebody else. It's all about coming together and helping one another in this thing called life, because we're here together. Why not help each other? Why not empower, encourage, and inspire and motivate each other to be the best person that we can be, to let go of our fears, to let go of our hurts and pains, to truly give it to God, to truly grow, to truly enjoy life the way that it should be. We should. So I hope this podcast of transformation today has blessed you. I hope that it encouraged you to keep going. I hope it encouraged you to challenge yourself. I hope it encouraged you to keep moving and trusting God in the way possible. I look forward to talking to you again for another edition. I have some guests lined up that will be talking to me about some of their journey and just having a good conversation. That's what it's all about. So thanks for joining me on this edition of the Journey with James podcast, season 2, episode 2. We're almost at 50 episodes. We're almost at 50 episodes. And so that's just a milestone there. And I'm so glad that you guys stuck with me and listened to the podcast, and I'm encouraged by it, and you're encouraged by it as well. Please join me again on the next edition. Thanks for listening, and you can follow me on my Journey with James page, the Journey with James podcast on Instagram. I look forward to talking to you again on the next edition of the Journey with James podcast. Have a question, comment, or topic idea for the Journey with James podcast? If so, you can email us at journeywithjames@outlook.com. And remember, you can catch past episodes of the Journey with James podcast by going to Apple, Spotify, Google, or any other podcast entity.